I'm going to try this one more time because it's important I share this rawness, this emotion, but I've broken down crying several times doing this video pretty hysterically, so I think I've got together where I can talk about this. So, yesterday I stood on a street corner. I took the afternoon off and I held this sign that my daughters created. My two daughters are very different minded. One of my daughters had ADHD and dyslexia, and the other doesn't. And just getting them to kind of get along sometimes is a struggle. So I got them together to create a sign to symbolize what the sign is all about, actually within the sign. So this is the sign they created. I don't know if you can see it. I'll hold it back. It says, "Be the bridge." It's got two hearts. And one of my daughters drew it and the other colored it in. So it really was a breathe the bridge moment within the sign. So yesterday, like I said, I took the afternoon off and I sat on basically a roundabout in my town where traffic comes in from all directions. I cranked up my music really loud, little Michael Franti, little Ziggy Marley, Jack Johnson, all sorts of stuff. Just feel good, happy music. And as cars drove by, I waved at them. I was dancing the whole time. I love dancing. I was a break dancer as a kid and always danced at the club. I would dance by myself. The music is just in me and dance is in me. So I want to do that. But I would wave at people. I would give them air hugs. I would blow kisses. I would smile. And a huge majority of the people either waved or smiled or gave me a blown kiss or an air hug back. But some people got mad. Some people flipped me birds. But I focused on the part of that. And I did this for 4 hours. I did this until the sun go down. I went through all my water. My back was hurting bad. My legs were sore. I could barely stand. And the reason I did it is because our country needs love right now. We actually need a hug. We need a hug. We need a hug more than anything right now. There's so much anger and frustration and confusion and misunderstanding in our country, and a hug makes all that feel better. I can promise you that. I know that because I spent all of 2019 with my daughters traveling the country to 26 different states, giving hugs to thousands of people. I would hug anybody. I'd homeless people, drug addicts, didn't matter. People in wheelchairs, babies, young, adult, age, sex, gender, doesn't matter. We're all on the same, we're on humanity. I had people that would cry in my arms that were Trump supporters. I had kids that would come up and give me a hug, drop their bikes and give me a hug because they knew about, just want to give me a hug. I had a couple people that just got out of prison and given me a hug. I had people who had lost relatives recently and given me a hug. I had people that had coming back from a funeral and giving me a hug. People I had very different views with, but I embraced them through my humanity. And that's what we need now, man. That's what we need. And today I'm going to tell you why I'm a little more emotional. I'm going to tell you why I hadn't been able to get through this video. But I think it's important I share this with y'all. I think it's very important. I woke up this morning and read about Ma'Khia Bryant. If you don't know Ma'Khia Bryant is, you soon will. She's a 15-year-old, I think she's 15-year-old, who lives in Columbus, Ohio, I think it is. And yesterday afternoon, she lost control of her emotion and the cops were called to her house. And there was a dispute before that. Apparently some girls had started a confrontation and the dispute spilled over into the yard and she lost her cool. and her amygdala took precedence. And once your amygdala takes precedence, you don't think rationally anymore. You just go with your id reflexes. And she came after these two girls with a knife. And the cops were there at the time. And she came after one after she pushed her down. And then she came after another one. And this 15-year-old girl who lost her control and looked like she was about to stab this other person, the cops on the scenes shot her. And shot her dead. And this is where I have the hard part. Okay. And from what I've seen, they had no choice. They had no choice. She was out of control. But here's the hard part. Today, her parents don't have a daughter anymore. And they're mad as fuck at the police. And they fucking hate them. And I would too. I would too if I was that parent. I would fucking hate them. But the police had no choice. And people are protesting in the street in Columbus, Ohio right now. And I hope more people don't get killed from that. And I hope there's not more burning and looting. I really do. Because they're protesting in the street on a misnomer. Those cops had no choice. This is not a BLM movement. This is not a racist movement. This is where humanity lost control. And none of that's going to bring that back for their parents. None of them's going to bring their daughter back. Understand me, they're mad as hell. And I'll tell you why this gets me really upset. Because it hits me right here. I have a 12-year-old daughter who has ADHD and dyslexia, and she struggles with her anger in big ways. And when you see it go so far, that another parent loses their daughter, it really fucking hits you, man. It hits you like a load of bricks. I feel so bad for those parents. I feel so bad. We gotta start at loving each other, man. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to love your enemy. I know it's hard to hug people and love people you disagree with. We gotta do it. We're ripping this fucking nation apart. We gotta reach out to that neighbor we disagree with and see where they're coming from. We gotta reach out to that person who wears that Trump hat or that Hillary bumper sticker and find the humanity in that person. Or even says all lives matter or Black Lives Matter. We gotta start understanding each other. Because if we don't, this stuff that happens with Micaiah, and she loses her cool and her anger, that's what it was. There's so much frustration and anger and sadness and confusion and misunderstanding that is bubbling up in all these places, most notably in the black community. But it's bubbling up. I see it all over my town. And if we don't start trying to really understand each other, not try to change their mind, but understand their perspective and see where this is coming from, we're only going to rip each other far further until we're completely ripped apart, and there will be no return. And things where like Micaiah, this one little girl is killed, will happen more and more till it's the norm. And we're numb to it. We got to read books that we don't agree with. We got to watch news stations we might necessarily agree with. Get out of our silos and start understanding each other. If you watch CNN, watch Fox News a little bit. It may hurt. It's hard. But what we need to do is we got to understand each other and vice versa. If you watch Fox News, watch CNN. We've got to come together as humanity. We got to start wrapping our minds and as soon as we can, our arms around each other. Because if we don't, this is only going to get worse, man. We need this. We need this be the bridge that my daughters created. We need this sign more than ever. I've been sending this sign across the country to probably 10 states now, hundreds of these signs, and I give them out all over my city. This message of be the bridge is big and important. It means be the bridge to people who have differences of opinion. Wrap your mind around your arms when you can. I'm getting repetitive now, but we got to love each other. It's that important. It may be repetitive, but we got to do it, folks. Can't let this stuff go on, man. We can't let this stuff go on. Y'all have a good day. Take care. One love.